Hi, I'm Gretchen Betts, Managing Director and Financial Planner at Magenta Financial Planning. In this video, I'm going to cover 8 things for you to think about and consider if you've received or are about to receive an inheritance. In my experience, different people react in slightly different ways to receiving an inheritance. Most people are grateful, happy and honoured to be left money. They know that their loved one would want them to enjoy it and use it how they wish. But for others, it becomes a huge burden, a responsibility, and it can be particularly difficult if they're not confident about managing money. Depending on the size of the inheritance, some people will have set ideas on how and when they want to spend their money, and they might seek advice on whether this is sensible and how long the money will last if they spend at a certain rate. So here's 8 things to consider with your inheritance. Number 1, make a plan. Think carefully about how you'd like your life to look in 5, 10, and maybe even 20 or 30 years. Where are you living? Are you retired? Are you traveling the world? Are you still working, but with less financial stress? Are you involved in charity work, for example? Jot down your ideas so you can keep your vision clear. Setting goals will inform your decisions about what to do with your money. And once you have a general direction in mind, you can plan more effectively and make the most of that inheritance. Think seriously about consulting a financial planning expert. You're going to need someone who you like, who you can get on with, who can help you to avoid making expensive mistakes, who can hold you accountable to your plan, who can work with you to achieve your goals, and make specific recommendations and monitor your progress over the long term. Number 2, pay off your debts. It might sound simple, but if you've got any expensive debts such as loans, credit cards and store cards, you should pay these off in full before you do anything else. If you don't have enough to pay off everything, pay off the highest interest rates first and transfer everything else to 0%. Number 3 is that big debt, maybe paying off your mortgage. Paying off your mortgage is one of the best and safest investments that you can make. Once you've paid it off, you'll feel a big weight lifted off your shoulders and you'll own your own home outright. However, if you're on a fixed rate mortgage, you may not be allowed to pay it all off or maybe be restricted to 10% a year without penalties. Work out which would be of best value to you. Paying it off now and incurring a penalty, or just paying off an extra 10% each year until the fixed rate finishes and then paying off the rest. Number 4, boost your emergency fund. You should think about having at least 3 to 6 months normal expenses in cash together with any funds that you anticipate spending in the next 12 months. Ensure that this money is easily accessible and don't tie it up in low interest accounts. Invest the bulk of your money properly for the long term is likely to generate a better return for you. If you're retired, we recommend usually that you have 18 to 2 years worth of income set aside in cash at all times so that you never have to draw down on invested assets in an emergency. But that might be slightly different if you're still working. So you'd need to think about yourself and personal situation. Number 5 is treat yourself. Now that you've done all that sensible stuff and all the responsible things, think about some things you'd like to do in the short term. Perhaps some things you've always dreamed of doing or things that you've dreamed of having. Once you have a proper future plan in place and know what you can afford to splash out on without running out of money, just do it. After all, life is not a dress rehearsal and you can't take it with you. Number 6 is get your money working harder for you. All money not committed to short-term spending or your emergency fund or your go and have fun fund should be invested for the long term to provide ongoing financial security. At Magenta, we help people develop an investment plan that's suitable for their attitude to risk, will grow enough to achieve your goals, isn't tied up for a long time, is tax efficient and is easy to understand and is regularly monitored to ensure maximum success. Number 7 is to give some away. If you have children or grandchildren, you could help them get onto the property ladder, for example, or pay for some university fees with the inheritance. Rather than leaving money in your will, it might be nice for you to see the benefit of any money you might be able to spare whilst you're still alive. Your financial plan, of course, is going to be key to that, to be able to determine how much you can afford to give away, either as a lump sum or as income over the years. They won't have to pay any inheritance tax on the money that you've given them if you survive at least 7 years after making any gift, of course. And number 8, a deed of variation. When you receive an inheritance, you might decide that you don't need or want it and that it would be better if someone else had it, perhaps because it will compound your own inheritance tax liability. And we see that quite often. In this case, you have up to 2 years after death of the benefactor to amend their will in favour of another party or parties. This can only be done with the agreement of all the beneficiaries, but usually within families this isn't a problem. This solution is often overlooked and means that more money goes to the taxman than is necessary, to the detriment of future family funds. Lots to digest in this video, I know, but if you've enjoyed the video and you've found it of use, please could you like, share, or at least comment, which always helps with our social media. And if you'd like to talk about any of these things that's in relation to your personal circumstances, maybe you've inherited some money and have some questions, then please just drop me a message or contact Magenta. Thanks.